Kids say the darndest things. I think I want to name this part 1 because I really feel like this is just the beginning. This is my comb. I got a self-care. Got a self-care live. Kids say the darndest things. Part 1. So I was thinking about it today. I want to tell you all about the time when my daughter Aria, like so many kids do, embarrassed the hell out of my ass. But it was one of those moments where you couldn't get mad. Okay, so my baby girl Aria, she's 12. She was about maybe 2 at the time. And we were in line, maybe at, I don't know if it was a bank or somewhere. We were somewhere in line, wasn't relatively too loud, and she's playing, and she's just playing around, and then all of a sudden she looks up, and this was around the time, I guess she was about 1.5. This is around the time when she was learning nose, mouth, ears, and how to say things. She looks at the guy in front of us, and she says, "Daddy, look at the man. He's got a nose." So the man is close enough to where he can hear, so he kind of turns around and laughs. And I'm like, "Yeah, baby girl, you're right. We all have noses." This girl looks at me and says, she like taps me, she's like, "Daddy, he got a nose." Oh my God. And what she was saying, I looked at the dude, and he had a pretty big nose. And it was one of those moments where I tried to hurry up and divert the attention and get her to look at something else or like get her to play with something. And she was like, Daddy. She like moved me out the way. Daddy, he got a nose. Oh my God. That, when I tell y'all, it was like, what's the candy bar where you want to go somewhere or you need to get away? Is it Snickers? Whatever that candy bar is, where it's like, you want to go somewhere, want to get away, get out of Dodge. I wanted to teleport. I wanted to vanish so fast. Oh my gosh. Kids, because kids will say these things. They, we don't mean any harm. She said, "Daddy, look at the man. He got a nose." I was like, "Yeah, baby girl. We all got noses." She tapped me on my side. She's like, "Daddy, he got a nose." Oh my God. I should have probably titled this video that, "He got a nose." Hey, Bernadine. How you doing? Bernadine, have your kids ever done this to you where you are out and they say something and it's just innocent. It's an innocent question. Innocent question, and they embarrass the hell out of you. So Aria reminds me a lot of myself. Hey Don, hey Eunice. Aria reminds me a lot of myself because I was that child. I was that inquisitive child, who was always asking questions. So here was my version of that, right? When my father told me this, I didn't even remember this. He said when I was about, I don't know, maybe 3, and I could read really well. Shout out to mom, school teacher, got me in the books, and so I'm reading like real well at 3. So I'm hanging out with my dad, and he winds up seeing someone out while we're out and about. So he decided to stop and talk to them. So we're in East Baltimore. Leroy, what's happening, brother? We're in East Baltimore. He stops. He starts talking to the person. And he didn't expect this, so he didn't have anything for me to do. So I'm just hanging around, just kind of noodling around him. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he hears me saying stuff like, "You ugly bitch, I will smack you in your fucking..." He's like, "What the hell?" He like, "Man, what you say?" Because he hearing me curse, right? He's like, "Man, what you say? Where you get that from? What you say?" And I turned around, I pointed. I was like, "It's right there." My mother used to teach me to read everything that I saw. Everything. Like, she was like, she would make me read things. "Aaron, what does that say? What does that say?" She would instill in me that when I was bored, if I needed something to do, there was reading. She always had a book around. She always told me, go read a sign, go do something. So I was just doing I'm just doing what mom, I'm doing the productive thing that mom taught me. She can suck. He's like, what? So I was getting my vocabulary lessons, y'all, from the profanity and graffiti on the wall. So that was my version of it. Another version I had was, and it was almost like Aria, like the one I just told you all about. Standing in line with my mother at the bank. I think it was the same thing. And I looked at the guy in front of us and I was like, Mommy, why does he have a hole in his head? And he had the Marty Bass baldness happening. So I'm thinking that the bald spot in the middle of his head is an actual hole in his head, right? I see you cracking up, you. Hey, Anthony, thanks for hanging out, bro. Tell me, what is your version of this? Tell me one story of you as a kid where you embarrassed the hell out of your parents or out of somebody, and all you were doing was just asking a simple question. Or like I was doing, I was just practicing my vocabulary words. They were big. They were on the wall. Hey, Roxanne. They were on the wall. They were really big. The person who wrote the, hey, Thomas, the person who wrote the profanity on the wall, they took the time to really, make sure their handwriting was nice and big and neat, So it was a perfect opportunity for me. Hey, Nicole. Perfect opportunity. I'm like, oh, wow. What a nice person. They done made a big chalkboard out of the side of this wall, of this apartment complex. Wow. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be a good kid. I don't have to bother Dad. I'm gonna show him I can keep myself occupied. I'm mature. I'm gonna go right on over here and practice my vocabulary words. Oh my gosh. Or the time when my mother tells me about this all the time. The time when one of my aunts, her mom had made some cornbread and she gave me some. She couldn't wait for me to have her cornbread. And I got the cornbread and she was like, well, how you like it? How you like it, Sonny? Would it, taste good to you? And I was like, she's like, what does it taste like? Does it taste good to you? And I was like, this don't taste like nothing. When I tell you they cracked up about that, literally until this time now, I looked at her and was like, and I gave her my honest opinion. I mean, the cornbread literally tastes like, I remember the taste. I could taste it on my tongue right now. I could taste the nothingness of this cornbread on my tongue right now. It was like, so as an adult, what I would say was, I guess like she literally forgot to put the sugar or like put the whatever in it to give cornbread to cornbread. It was the texture, it was everything. But when you bit into it, it literally tastes like the same way your mouth tasted before you had this cornbread in your mouth. I promise you. So I was just giving them my honest opinion. It literally tastes like that. In fact, I didn't even see it as a what do you call it? Hey, Katie. I didn't even see it as an insult. Jessica, please tell me. Jessica, I know your kids have done this to you. I know when they embarrass the hell out of you, ask a question. So Berman says, when I saw a man dressed like a woman, man, I can only imagine, brother. I can imagine what your line was as a kid. Because you probably were just curious. You didn't have a phobia, It wasn't like you was homophobic. You just didn't understand. So yeah, I asked my mom, why did the guy have a hole in his head? Was he going to be okay? And it was just that he had male pattern balding. Go figure. And then what was the other one? It was one more I wanted to tell you all about that slips my mind. But yeah, and what made me think about it was I just came from my, Jessica says, I have 6 kids. This is a constant circus here. I can so imagine. Look, I'm with you. I am with you. I don't have 6, but I'm a runner-up, and so I understand. So what made me think about this and even tell this story was today, just came from getting the hair did. It just came from a loctician. And we were talking about these things, and I think it was that I mentioned to her the story about Aria, And then she told me a story about Aria that I didn't know. She told me that there was a time that my mom and Aria was in her shop. Richard, how you doing, bro? Let me know how you making out, man. There was a time when my mom and my daughter Aria were in the shop, and there was a woman there who had a lock weave. And, you know, for those that don't know, a lock weave is just as it sounds, you know, and it's a really good thing, especially for people who suffer with certain baldness. In fact, my mom was like one of the first people here to have it, and for so many years, even if you go look at my mom's pics now, you would not be able to tell. Like, you would not be able to tell. It was really nice. So, but you know, to a 2-year-old, that looks completely different. So she said Aria looked at this woman and she was playing with the tablet, and then out of nowhere, the woman kind of lifted up, and Aria happened to look up, like, and just catch the glimpse. And you know, a kid, when a kid sees something that they don't understand, they will give you the stare where they should be embarrassed that they are staring at you that long, but they're not embarrassed. So they're literally just like, and they don't blink, and they're just looking at you like, and you look away and you turn back around, they're like, so you already know what's about to happen. I'm getting ready to read your comment in a few seconds, Jessica. I can't wait to read this because I know you got a story. Hey, Barbara, thanks for hanging out. So you already know what's about to happen. When you see that kid, and when they got that finger here like this, and they're just like when you get that look, oh my God, you better run fast, because that kid is getting ready to light somebody up. And so she was talking about the time that Aria, she saw that woman, and the woman lift this up, and she said that in 60 seconds flat, Aria was, and they all realized this, so they were trying to like divert, you know, they're trying to divert, and my loctician said she was trying to hurry up and finish the woman and everything. So here's Aria on my mother's shoulder. Aria's like this on my mother's shoulder. And the whole time, you know, when a kid taps you like that, they're not even looking at their finger. So their finger's here. They still looking ahead like. So she said when she turned around, she said, "Grandma, what is that? What's that under her hair?" And she saw a bald spot. And she said, "Nothing." She said, "No, it is. Ask her to lift it up again." Ask her to lift it up again. Is something wrong? Oh my gosh. She said, "What your granddaughter try to do? Make me lose all my customers." Kids say the darndest things. Bill Cosby nailed it when he created that show. So yeah, that's my stories. I got a few more for you all that'll come to mind that falls in that category. But please, by all means, drop your story. Let me read a couple comments. So Berman says, "When I saw a man dressed like a woman." Jessica said, "I have 6 kids. This is kind of serious." Don, as a kid, my grandmother asked me to go to the refrigerator and to get her cup of water. I guess I was irritated. I brought it to her. I told her I did it this time, but don't ask me no more. Hey, Don, look, I got one to match you. I'm so glad you said that. I got one to match you. I got a whooping from my mom, and I had to be about 10 years old. Got a whooping from my mom, so I'm starting to smell myself, right? I'm at that point now where I'm just as mad as her as she's at me. I get a whooping from my mom, and I had my long johns on. I had my long drawers on, right? So she finishes, and Dawn, why? Why does our brains work this way as kids? I literally was so, upset that she said something like a final, like, "Yeah, don't do it again." And I looked at her and literally said, "Well, that didn't hurt anyway." Oh my God. So you know what that meant. Number 2, round 2, without the long johns on. What the hell was I thinking? Okay. So yeah, I know it. I don't understand. You survived. We survived. We're still here. We're talking, Don. We are talking. We actually made it. So, okay. So Jessica says one of my daughters, when she was 3, was in Sunday school on Easter Sunday. And when they told her about Jesus raising from the dead, she said, very excited, I might add, oh, just like The Walking Dead. Oh, kids say the darndest things. We got called in after that class, Jessica says. Oh boy. Marion, hey, Doris, Thaddeus. Jessica said, oh shit, it was on then. Oh boy, she ripped the fur off of you. Dawn. PTSD, Dawn, from something I said. Dawn, I don't know what I was thinking. And of course, right after I said it, I literally, my mind was like, what the hell? What are you doing? What? That didn't hurt. Do you understand? You just got away. Like, she didn't realize it and you were able to go. Oh my gosh. I don't know. It's, old to be a kid, right? So anyway, kids say the darndest things. And like I said, maybe this is part 1 because I'm going to think about some other things. I got some other funny stories for y'all, but I had to tell y'all that. And for those that jumped on later, take it back from the top so you can hear the story I said about Aria, pointing out that the man in front of us in the line at the bank, he had a nose, but not just a nose. He had a nose. Peace, y'all.